Hi guys, Eric here with Basic Bananas, and we're going to talk about marketing today. We're going to talk specifically about your About Us page. So here's something that I found that was interesting with your About Us page. We were doing a lot of testing with our websites, with our website at Basic Bananas, and then we do a lot of testing actually with websites or websites of businesses that we work with. And in those websites, we found something that was really interesting. And what we found was that after the home page, so when someone comes to the home page, the second most common visited page is the About Us page. And there's a ton of traffic going to that page. And so I've kind of been thinking about this for a little while. I've been thinking about how do you take that page if you know that a lot of the traffic that's going to your web page directly goes to the About Us page. They want to find out more about you. How do you take that and maximize the potential of that page? So basically, I was doing some thinking about it. I took some notes around what I could be doing with it, and I think I figured out a way. To maximize the potential of the About Us page. So hey, how's it going, Matt? So in that page, I think what's really important in the About Us page is that you don't talk about yourself, which sounds really ironic. Why would you create an About Us page if you're not going to be talking about yourself? But really what you want to be doing is you want to showcase who you are, but really talk about how you can help your customer. And I think I've identified 6 ways of doing that. So here are the 6 ways that I think you can maximize an About Us page. And part of the reason this came up as well is I'm in the middle of recreating the website for my parents' business, which is Cozy Cabins. If you're interested in that, that's cozycabins.ca. They run a little resort with cabins around a lake. It's really cool if you haven't heard about it. And within that business, we didn't even have an About Us page before. We kind of had a brief About Us on the home page. But we didn't have a strong About Us page there. And so what I decided to do is create an About Us page, and this has been an experiment to see whether we can actually drive sales from that page. So within that page, there's a few things that I've done. So the first point with the About Us page is, first of all, you need to be looking at this page from your customer's perspective. And so the first point is, what's your story and why should they care? So what is about your story that they should care about what it is you have to say beyond that? Once you've identified what that is, then going on to the next point, and I'm just going off of, these is just notes that I've been taking down, kind of like, you can even see, well, it's probably all backwards to you, but it's just me scribbling things out and rewriting and putting things back in. The second point is, from your customer's perspective, when they come to the About Us page, are you talking about what it is that you've created for them? So what is it that you're doing for them? What is it that you've been working on over the last few years that is going to be important to them? And why should they buy it from you? So what is it that you're doing for them? And why should they care? Why should they buy it from you? So that's the second point. Third point is, what can I expect if I do buy something from you? So this is something I haven't tried before, but I'd like to try with the About Us page in the resort anyway, and that is, can we actually put testimonials right into the About Us page? And that's what I've started doing, at least with the template that I've got put together for Cozy Cabins, is starting to put testimonials in there and seeing if that helps convert people over, if they can see what we've been doing for, in this case, other guests. The fourth point is, so that was the fourth point. Actually, no, what can I expect if I buy from you? So actually that ties into 2 things. First, we talk about it. We talk about what we can deliver. And once we've talked about what we can deliver, so that's the third point, what can I expect if I buy from you? Then we go right from there into testimonials. Okay, we can deliver this, and here's people that have gotten what we said we would deliver. And then we go into the testimonials. That's kind of what led into that, and that was my thought process there. Then the last point is just, can I trust you? And that kind of draws out of the testimonials, and it moves on to the next step. So in the can I trust you step, that's kind of where you talk about, listen, I'd like to get to know you better as someone that's visiting the About Us page. So let's have a talk. And then that moves to the last point, which is, what is the next step? And in the next step, you're, hey Drew, hey Brenna, and Jordan's on. Nice to see you guys on here. The last thing is, you want to have a strong call to action at the bottom of your About Us page. Most people in their About Us pages, they don't have any call to action. But if you're selling something and you've got an About Us page, I'd strongly recommend you go through all the steps that I just mentioned. And then the very last thing is taking them to where you want them to buy. And on a tangible level, what that looks like is, I'll show you what I've actually put together here. For you guys, it's probably all going to be backwards. So if it's all backwards, you might have to live with it. But this is what I've been working on, and this is the format I've kind of put it together in. So in this format, like I said, it's probably backwards, but I've put together, and this is for mom and dad. Hey, we are Harold and Kim Hattershite. And then I just put here briefly who they really are, and this is owners of Cozy Cabins Nature Resort, so that's their title. And then I put here, for the past 20 years, we have painstakingly crafted our 60 acres into a mountain paradise that brings joy to the amazing families that stay with us. So it talks about what they've been doing. So it tells you who they are, but more it talks about what they've been doing in order to serve their guests. And then I talk about just on a little bit more of a deeper level, for every nail hammered, board placed, and curtain stitched, we asked ourselves, will this create a relaxing, enjoyable experience? And then I think what I did here that's kind of cool, and if you want to take this approach and borrow it and rip it from me and put it into your own website, I put here, because I ripped this, if I'm being honest, I ripped this from somebody else. So at least this one line, not all of this, but this one line, I didn't copy it word for word, but basically what I did was I said we take a different approach than most resorts out there. And then below that, I said how we've done that. So I put, we're not growing for the sake of growth. We actively turn away large group functions, and we don't believe in screens. And basically what I'm doing is I'm telling everybody how, the rest of the market's doing this and we're doing that, how we're different. So I've put that in there. I don't think you guys need all the details, nor do you probably want all the details of what that looks like. Brenna, you don't like my cabinets? That's sad. All right, so from there you go into our story. So then that's talking about what the story is like with my parents, how they went from the mountains from the suburbs to the mountains, and how that affected our family, and then basically how they wanted to bring that experience to other families. So they were able to bring that experience to other families, and they've continued to refine the art of the family vacation and what that looks like. Then it kind of goes into a bunch of testimonials from the guests, and then at the very end it just says, if you'd like to have a look at what we're doing, then go to the cabins page and you can book a cabin from there. So it just has that call to action. So essentially that's how you're able to take your About Us page and turn it into something that is capable of making you money. So that's Brenna, I think you're misunderstanding the point of this video. First of all, if you don't want the live feed videos, you can turn those off. And second of all, this is totally not a pyramid scheme. I'm just talking about marketing. All right. Well, guys, for the rest of you that are listening, if you're interested in taking some of this advice and taking it to your own pages and incorporating it in a way that allows you to make money, then that's awesome. Then you can go and do that. All right. If you guys are interested in learning more about marketing, you can go to our website, which is basicbananas.com, and we've got tons of free content on there about how to take your business to the next level. We'll see you later.